Welcome to Bedtime Horror, your portal to scary stories. Halloween was always a night of spooky excitement. This year, I decided to attend a costume party at an old mansion on the outskirts of town. The mansion had a history, tales of ghostly happenings, and eerie sightings. It was the perfect setting for a Halloween party. As I arrived at the mansion, the atmosphere was electric. People were dressed in all sorts of costumes, from classic monsters to pop culture characters. The place was decked out in cobwebs and fake spiders, giving it an appropriately creepy vibe. Inside, the party was in full swing. Music thumped in the background as people danced and laughed. The dim lighting added to the eerie ambience. I mingled with friends, enjoying the festive spirit and trying to ignore the occasional creaks of the old mansion. As the night wore on, a group of us decided to explore the mansion a bit more. We had heard whispers about secret passages and hidden rooms. Our curiosity got the better of us, and we ventured deeper into the mansion's dark corridors. It wasn't long before we stumbled upon a door that seemed out of place. It was slightly ajar, and a cold draft emanated from within. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, we pushed the door open, revealing a narrow staircase leading downward. We exchanged glances and shrugged, curiosity winning out again. The stairs creaked underfoot as we descended into the darkness below. The air grew colder, and a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. At the bottom of the stairs, we found ourselves in what looked like a dimly lit cellar. The air was heavy with a musty smell, and the flickering candlelight created eerie shadows on the walls. Something about the place felt off, and a shiver ran down my spine. As we explored further, we discovered old furniture covered in dusty sheets and crates filled with forgotten items. It was as if time had stood still in this forgotten corner of the mansion. We exchanged nervous laughs, trying to brush off the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. But then, a noise echoed through the cellar, a soft whisper that seemed to come from all directions. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end as we exchanged alarmed glances. The atmosphere had shifted, and a wave of panic washed over us. We stood frozen in place, the whispering growing louder and more insistent. It was as if the very walls were murmuring secrets that sent chills down our spines. Panic tightened its grip on me, and I could feel my heart racing in my chest. One of us suggested that we should leave, that this was just a prank or a result of our imaginations running wild. But as we turned to go back up the staircase, a loud bang echoed through the cellar, causing us to jump. The door we had entered through had slammed shut, trapping us below. Fear coursed through my veins as we pounded on the door, desperate to escape the confines of the cellar. But no matter how hard we pushed and pulled, the door remained firmly shut. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread settled over us like a heavy fog. In the dim candlelight, I caught a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on sinister shapes that seemed to taunt and menace us. The whispers grew louder, forming words that were impossible to decipher, like an eerie chant. As time passed, our panic intensified. The cellar felt like a prison, and the walls seemed to close in around us. We huddled together, our faces pale with fear, exchanging worried glances as the unknown surrounded us. And then, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was as if the darkness itself had taken form, a silhouette that seemed to flicker and shift. My breath caught in my throat as I realized that we were not alone in this cold, dark place. The figure moved closer, its steps slow and deliberate. Every footfall echoed through the cellar, a haunting rhythm that seemed to resonate with our pounding hearts. We were paralyzed, unable to move or speak as the unknown entity drew nearer. And then, with a sudden burst of courage, one of us yelled, demanding to know who or what was there. The figure paused for a moment, its presence weighing heavily on us. And then, in a voice that sent shivers down our spines, it spoke. The words were cryptic, a mixture of warnings and promises of things to come. It spoke of a forgotten past, of restless spirits seeking release. Fear gripped us, and we felt like pawns in a dark and twisted game. Without warning, the figure dissipated, melting back into the shadows from whence it came. And then, as if released from its grip, the door at the top of the stairs creaked open. We didn't hesitate. We rushed up the staircase, fleeing the cellar and the horrors it held. As we burst out into the main hall of the mansion, the partygoers were oblivious to the terror we had experienced below. We were shaken, our nerves frayed, and we couldn't shake the feeling that we had glimpsed something beyond the veil of the living. The rest of the night passed in a blur as we tried to put the events of the cellar behind us. The laughter and music seemed surreal, a stark contrast to the darkness we had encountered. When dawn finally broke, I left the mansion with a mixture of relief and unease. Halloween had taken on a new meaning for me that night. It wasn't just costumes and candy, it was a reminder that there are things beyond our understanding, forces that linger in the shadows. The memory of the cellar and the whispers would stay with me, a haunting reminder of the thin line that separates the known from the unknown. The night was alive with the crackling energy of Halloween, and our group of friends had gathered in the old apartment to celebrate in style. The place was an ideal setting for a spooky bash, creaky wooden floors, antique furniture that seemed to hold whispers of the past, and dimly lit corners that hinted at mysteries waiting to be unraveled. We had decked out the rooms with cobwebs, pumpkins, and eerie decorations, transforming the space into a haunted haven that felt both enchanting and foreboding. As the evening unfolded, laughter and music reverberated through the apartment. Costumed guests mingled, their costumes ranging from classic monsters to pop culture icons. The atmosphere was electric, a blend of anticipation and excitement that only Halloween could inspire. Among the revelers was a sense of camaraderie, a shared bond that made us feel invincible in the face of the unknown. Amid the festivities, a mysterious air seemed to cling to the apartment, as if the very walls held their secrets close. And it was during a lull in the music that a guest stumbled upon an unexpected discovery, a hidden door concealed behind a tattered tapestry. Intrigued, we gathered around, our curiosity piqued by the prospect of uncovering what lay beyond. The door was unassuming, its presence masked by years of neglect. With a collective breath held, we pushed it open, revealing a narrow passage that extended into darkness. Excitement mingled with trepidation as we exchanged glances, each of us secretly eager to explore the enigmatic path before us. With a sense of adventure coursing through our veins, we ventured into the unknown, guided solely by the glow of our flashlights. The passage was a labyrinth of twists and turns, its walls adorned with faded wallpaper that hinted at a bygone era. Each step carried us deeper into the heart of the building's history, and an eerie silence enveloped us, broken only by the distant echoes of our footfalls. The air grew cooler, and a shiver ran down our spines as we imagined the stories the walls could tell if only they could speak. Suddenly, our lights fell upon a small room at the end of the corridor. We entered cautiously, our eyes adjusting to the dim light that filtered through dusty windows. The room felt frozen in time, a relic of a past era, untouched by the passage of years. Antique furniture adorned the space, and a sense of nostalgia hung heavy in the air. Our attention was drawn to a worn wooden table in the center of the room, upon which lay an old diary. Its pages were yellowed with age, and as we flipped through them, we discovered entries that spoke of strange occurrences and unexplainable events. Tales of flickering lights, objects moving on their own, and whispers in the dead of night that seemed to defy rational explanation. The stories within the diary painted a vivid picture of a building haunted by a history of secrets. As we read on, the words seemed to come alive, the experiences of the past reaching out across time to envelop us in their eerie embrace. The room itself seemed to react, its atmosphere growing heavier, the air charged with an energy that sent shivers down our spines. As we continued to explore the room, a sense of being watched settled upon us, an intangible presence that seemed to observe our every move. The walls appeared to pulse with a life of their own, their secrets whispered on the wind that swept through the room. It was as if the building itself was awakening, its history entwining with the present in an intricate dance. We were so absorbed in the stories of the diary that we lost track of time, our surroundings fading into the background. But then, a sound pierced the air, a sharp, metallic noise that shattered the silence. Our heads snapped up, our senses on high alert as we exchanged uneasy glances. The hidden door, the very entrance that had led us here, was closing before our eyes, sealing us within the room. Panic surged within us, our hearts racing as we rushed to the door, desperate to prevent its closure. Frantic hands pounded against the wood, our shouts echoing in the confined space. But despite our efforts, the door refused to yield, its creaking hinges closing off our only means of escape. The darkness that had seemed so inviting now felt suffocating, a prison from which there was no escape. The room seemed to taunt us, its walls pressing in, the air heavy with an energy that seemed to defy explanation. Whispers brushed against our ears, ghostly echoes of the past that filled the void. Fear tightened its grip as we realized that we were trapped, prisoners in a spectral realm that defied the laws of reality. Hours passed in a haze of uncertainty, our attempts to open the door met with futility. Exhausted and on the brink of despair, we huddled together, our flashlights casting feeble beams of light that fought against the darkness. The room had become a chamber of horrors, a space where the past and the present converged, where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred. As we clung to each other, a glimmer of hope emerged, a hidden mechanism, a button concealed within the paneling. With trembling hands, we pressed it, and the hidden door slowly began to slide open, flooding the room with a sliver of light. Gasping for breath, we stumbled out of the passage, our spirits shaken and our minds forever marked by the experience. We emerged into the apartment, where the Halloween party continued in blissful ignorance of the supernatural ordeal we had just endured. The room that had once felt festive now bore the weight of our encounter, the hidden passage a testament to the mysteries that lay beneath the surface of the familiar. As we joined our friends, laughter and music surrounding us, we exchanged knowing glances, bound by the secrets we had uncovered. The apartment remained a guardian of its history, a sentinel of stories that defied explanation. The hidden passage had granted us a glimpse into a realm that challenged our understanding of reality, forever altering the way we perceived the world around us.